Insights channel. Steve here. I want to tell you today about some very strange things that have been happening. And this time, I know I saw something really out of place a couple of days ago. And I'll relate to you how I saw it. Where I live close to some hills and mountains. It's a beautiful area here in Scotland. As I relate on many occasions, I have seen many odd things out of place, from UFOs to ghosts to dark shadow creature-like things, and all kinds of things over the years, and chimeras, and ghosts of druids. I've seen things that are out of place. Well, I think. And I've seen formations of UFOs together with my wife. I've seen UFOs on at least 5 occasions. Well, 2 days ago, I saw something that to me just doesn't make sense. There was an occasion also I've related there. I've seen female angels, and when I saw a female angel, I saw later, cutting it short, there's no way I could see somebody's eyes from a distance of like 500 yards away, and yet I could. When that happened to me. So I know that sometimes our perception of things as humans can be altered. Now, if it can be altered by God, in the case of his angels, want to get a message through to us, and we can see when normally wouldn't be able to see, or see long distance when we normally couldn't see, what about the dark spiritual world? Do they have power over human perception upon occasion? I think they do. I want to relate to what happened the other day. Anyway, I want to point out to people, I do not go out, although I've seen a lot of paranormal things, had a lot of experiences in my lifetime, I don't seek them. I don't search for them. Sometimes I even feel ill afterwards, so it's not something I seek out. This occasion didn't make me ill, fortunately. But anyway, 2 days ago, I was cycling as I'm accustomed to in the hills, and I came to my attention some odd noise to the right or in the sky, and I looked up and I saw 2 what you'd call motorized gliders in the sky. I've estimated now they're about 2,000 feet up. One was following the other, okay, fine. But the strange thing, right in front of us, there was a series of these very dark clouds, cumulus clouds, one behind the other going for distance, kind of very ominous looking. And from what I know from being an aviator myself when I was young, learning to fly, training in the military, the RAF, those planes shouldn't have been doing what they were doing for many reasons. But you had these flimsy motorized gliders flying in the sky, one behind the other, and I could see them, strangely I could see them quite clearly. You could see it looked like somebody lying down pretty much, feet forward. 2 of them, one after the other. And here's what happened. I thought, wait a minute, being as flimsy craft as those are, with barely enough for a person inside, or hanging on for dear life, so to speak, they will not go into those dark clouds. There's no chance. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So anyway, I kept watching, and they just flew straight into this black mass of clouds, the one after the other, without even hesitation, almost robotically. And then if that wasn't enough, I thought, well, that's a bit odd. From what I know about aviation, it shouldn't have happened. But if that wasn't odd enough, within less than a minute, maybe 30 seconds later, there came a little small white aircraft on about the same altitude. And I could see it was kind of strangely painted for whatever reason. And it was flying at about a right angle from the south, from the south, towards the north. About a right angle, but the same height as the other 2 motorized gliders. And then it came to where was the path of where the other two motorized gliders had gone to the left into the cloud. And then it would turn. It took a right-angled turn to the right, but then strangely turned around and then came right on the same path as the other motorized gliders, and it also flew into the clouds. And I stood there for a good half an hour, stopped my bicycle, and I never saw those planes come back out of that cloud. And I thought, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. The distance of those motorized gliders is very limited. I don't even know where they came from, whether it was from a local flying club, I don't know. But since that happened, I was really wondering about it, because something seemed to not add up. And I thought, well, you better look up the statistics. What does it say about motorized gliders? What are their limitations? So I did, and I found out, yes, it's true that some gliders have managed to fly to very high heights, but one of the first things an experienced pilot says, whatever you do, you don't fly into big, dark clouds like that. The clouds are very dangerous. They can be. They can have all fluctuations inside those clouds in many ways. So they tell people not to do that. And they said a lot of people have been killed, and it's dangerous doing that. And so I was wondering, why would two planes one behind the other, fly robotically into cloud as if it's what they do every day? And then why would another little tiny plane show up, strangely turn a right angle, and then do a 180-degree turn and fly straight in the same path as the two motorized gliders that had just gone into those dark formation of clouds? It just looks strange, out of place, and even aviation says it shouldn't do stuff like that. Downright dangerous. I've never seen anything like that before, ever. And I felt somehow it looks out of place. And then today, I was cycling up, and I just prayed, Lord, if I saw something out of place the other day, I asked you, cause something to happen today, 2 days later, to show me a connection or show me something. And I didn't know if God would show anything or not. I didn't know. Because it's normally, when I see something out of place, it's many years until something like that happens again. Something like this. Last time I saw something was with my wife in the garden 8 years ago. Formation of 7 UFOs flying from north to south, which I have related before. But look, it's many years ago. So I was thinking, well, I don't know this time whether to report what I saw or not. How can you prove it? Maybe it's just, I don't know. But then today, I prayed, please, Lord, show me something. If I saw something today, then show me something. Give me a connection or something. And lo and behold, when I was cycling out, I got the verse, just listen and I will show you. Something like that. So I said, okay, Lord. And I'm cycling along on a sunny day, no clouds in the sky except maybe some very small ones on the horizon. I'm cycling along the path, and then I see that the clouds are starting to materialize, getting bigger from the horizon into the center of the sky. But still mostly sky. Then I start to see lots of chemtrails, one after the other, coming from the south to the north in twos. First I saw 2 go over, and I'll tell you something, for those who don't know about chemtrails, they're certainly not normal aircraft, no chance. I tell you, having been in the RAF and been a flying planes, those are not normal aircraft. There's something else. I don't know enough about it to find. It's not the reason I studied a lot about it. But anyway, today was strange because I'll tell you, in the 1 hour I was out cycling, I saw 19 chemtrails. Most of them flying from south to the north, or in one case I think 2 of them from the north to the south. Most of them were visible at very high altitude. They were traveling at supersonic speed, probably more than twice the speed of sound. And you can tell that because when it's supersonic, then the sound of the aircraft is way behind the aircraft, as the aircraft has overtook the sound barrier itself. Anyway, these things were traveling incredible speed and very high up in the atmosphere. And I noticed 4 of the 19 chemtrail aircraft, the ones that are traveling from the north to the south, they were traveling so fast, I didn't even see them. I could hear them as they break the sound barrier, but I could not see them, which I thought was a bit odd. I've got pretty good eyesight. I had to have as a pilot, A1 eyesight. And thank God I've had pretty good eyesight all my life. But I was shocked to see 19 chemtrails in only less than an hour. And I also saw 3 other small aircraft going across the sky. But it's like compared to these chemtrail aircraft that are very high up above the clouds, the normal planes hardly move in the sky. And you suddenly realize, what are we dealing with here? What sort of things are those that are they aircraft or they're mimicking aircraft? And I'm just wondering if man is up to a whole bunch of nonsense there with what's going on in our skies, where it's connected with the dark world or the dark kingdom. They have connections with the dark kingdom because I have seen, when I've seen UFOs on 5 occasions, they seem to be a bit similar to those aircraft that do the chemtrails. The speed and the versatility, pretty much similar. And why is it the chemtrails also, like the UFOs, fly north to south most of the time? Then you have a few that go from east to west, but it's mostly north to south. Why? Why are they following the same pattern as the UFOs tend to do? You'll see that the people who know about UFOs, they'll tell you, yes, they fly north to south. It's to do with the magnetic field of the Earth that they make use of with their UFOs. But I thought to report this, even if it seems insignificant, because I don't know, I've just seen so many paranormal things in there, especially in the last 20 years. So many things. But I think it's good to keep an eye on, because I think as time goes by, we're going to see more and more things that actually are out of place. And then I was thinking about the event happened 2 days ago, about seeing those 2 strange motorized gliders flying into those dark clouds, and then suddenly a little other plane showing up, flying at a right angle, then going 180 degrees the opposite direction and following the other 2 planes. And I was thinking, the whole thing is out of place. Then I realized there was no way that I would be able to see those details inside those little aircraft if they were 2,000 feet. And I estimated, because of the mountains close by, those clouds must have been just above 2,000 feet. And these guys flew right into them. So they must have been 2,500 feet up. But how come I could see them so clearly? How could I see them? And then I want to point out this. Here's the key. When my wife and I saw those UFOs flying from north to south on August 23rd, 2016, we saw them flying through the sky, and as they were just halfway across the sky, suddenly they vanished, like as if somebody turned off an image on a projector, exactly like that. And I thought, wow, that's something. And I was wondering, is our perception being messed around with in this dimension? Is somebody messing around with our perception when it comes to things like the speed of objects, the distance away they are? Because sometimes I've seen some things that it's not possible to see those details that far away, and yet it's happened. I don't have the answer to some of these things. I like to investigate things. I like to report them to others. But I'd be very interested. Anybody else has seen things like that? They're out of place in distance or speed, those sort of things. I think most people don't notice some of these aberrations in the sky or in chemtrails and other things, many other things, because they are too focused on the working. And of course, I'm a retired person. I've got a bit more time to investigate things. But if anybody has seen excessive amount of chemtrails or noticed some strange way the way they fly, or other connections with the UFOs, I'd like to know so I can report more information. So thanks for listening. Have a great day, and I would encourage people to get my books on the paranormal, Out of the Bottomless Pit 1 and 2. I'm writing a sequel to those books because there's always so much to report. And also I'd encourage you to get my Insights books, 8 of them, which are based on the paranormal, no, sorry, not paranormal in this case. They are interest in the Apocrypha books based on them, some of the bigger ones. So thanks for listening. Have a great day.